Well, good day, everyone. Welcome to God's Grace on Thee and Angel Wallace Productions. We're going to go back into the journals and finish out with the Magnificent Seven. And in this particular chapter, which is chapter 19, so I'm not sure if I got my journals messed up with the last one, but this is chapter 19. It's recording to Paul the Venetian, Tuesday, April 18th, 1989, 1 o'clock p.m., year 2, day 245. And it begins, Good afternoon, Dharma. Thank you for receiving of my energy. I am called Paul the Venetian, in order that you will not confuse my label with that of Paul the Apostle, who comes from these lessons as Hilarion. More as definition of my vibration, I am referred to as the Kohan of the third ray, with emphasis upon love, creativity, and beauty. In other words, these are the areas of my, let us say, expertise. Love and discipline. Creativity and beauty cannot actually exist without the presence of love. Therefore, let us consider love. Now, love is the flowing essence, the ephemeral quality of God, as it is the movement of the wind and the flowing of water. It requires the greatest of discipline to be able to retain, to have and to hold that love that is so tender, so gentle, and yet the ultimate expression of creative fires. Now, those who are the greatest artists, poets, and musicians who use the flame of love to implement an idea of God are those who have the greatest discipline of self, energies of self, of life, even of time and space. I come then to bring unto you an understanding of this discipline, so that you will understand that discipline is not something to be feared, but rather that discipline is the law, the fulfillment of love. Discipline is a grid, a force field that is necessary in order to have the flow of love and to retain the flow of love. Where there are lives which are undisciplined, love departs. Love compromised and perverted is lost. Where energies in motion are undisciplined, where there is not a chalice that can contain the liquid fire of love, mankind then loses of that love. To be happy for eternity means that love must be ensconced in a discipline that requires the discipline of self. To continue to receive love, ye must give of it. Know that as you discipline your energy, your supply, your expression, the hours of your day, your service to life, you are increasing your capacity to release love. The more you are disciplined, the stronger are the grids of consciousness. To have a strong consciousness, as strong sinews, enables you to balance megatons of the light force that you call love. Oh, on Terra, however, there is such difficulty on the part of life streams in their handling of the currents of love. Many who should be master of the flame of the third ray are now in states of disintegration, and their minds are filled with foul spirits and the mutterings of those spirits. And this state of being in degradation results from having perverted that wondrous flame. And because love is such a powerful force, precious ones, its abuse results in a very severe trauma and karma and a deprivation of life and the life force. Therefore, you see all of the science of this age of enlightened knowledge given at the hand of the alchemist, Saint Germain, is channeled to mankind as the flame God love. For out of love is the fulfillment of the mother flame, of every invention, every aspect of divine reality that is waiting to be lowered into manifestation through the creative geniuses of many among you and many among mankind. Unfortunately, due to the educational systems of the world and the equation of certain mass concepts and certain omissions of concepts that ought to be taught from childhood, mankind has a misunderstanding of native genius, and students are not taught of the talents of the Lord given to each one, nor are they taught how to release those talents and those flames of their innate God reality. People feel a sense of worthlessness, and that only a few have abilities for invention and creativity. Each has a unique idea. I am come to tell you that locked in the heart of everyone is a unique idea of love that you can bring forth for the benefit of your fellow man and the progress of the culture of the Divine Mother. It can be manifested in many diverse ways and expressions. And most of you have held a gift in your heart for a succession of experiences simply because you have not been told you could release it, that you could bring it forth, that you are beings of ultimate creativity. And more often, one leads you to believe that you have no value, no talent, and so forth and so on in order to keep you in subjection. Well, dear ones, yours are the talents which will transcend the fads of the times and move across the centuries as a permanent contribution to the race of mankind. Therefore, I suggest you move right along with the locating and expressing of these talents. When God creates, therefore, it follows that you must be creative. In your hands, in your eyes, in the movement of energies through you, there is creative flow. If you have the discipline here in this density, you can realize beautiful thought forms in matter. You can release those things that are not for profit, nor for trade and merchandising in the world that are here today and gone tomorrow. But rather you can release a permanent contribution to thy brotherhood of mankind. Let me give you a new concept of the need for self-discipline. It is not because if you sin you will die, not if you sin you will be punished, but simply because if you are disorganized, and this is a sin against the order of the cosmos, if you are slovenly in your personal habits, if you allow yourself to be moved by every little current and every little sway, you will lose the fires of love that will give you the greatest enjoyment of your life, the fulfillment of your creative destiny. Now, self-discipline becomes a point of enlightened self-interest. To move forward, fulfillment of your divine blueprint and your divine plan can be accomplished in the greatest beauty and joy of the fire of love, if you will only take me into your daily invocations and give generously of the force of the sacred flame, so that you can receive directly from your inner Christ flame of self. This will allow the genius within to move without. And why cannot you walk the earth as Christed ones? What is hindering your manifestation of this most wondrous state of being? It is only the ignorance, the banality, and the sleep of ages, only because your media and your billboards are not constantly telling you that you can become that which ye desire in achievement. No. They tell you of the sensuality and the desire of base pleasures which pull you further from thy goal. Ye do become what ye vision, and that which you are told and take within thyself as truth. You move with the banal energies, for those energies flow within, and upon the waves of mass consciousness, thus capturing you within the trap of hypnotic helplessness. Well, I tell you, the media were given unto mankind as a means of disciplining selfhood, and of releasing to mankind the messages of the masters. So be it, for thus do things come to be misused. Can you imagine if every time you turned on the television set, the announcer said, "You can become Christ"? You would begin to believe it. It would become a common fact, no longer startling nor astounding. You must turn on the television set within your inner being of your etheric body and listen to the masters until such time as your public media can be brought into change for the benefit of building up esteem instead of thrusting deeper into violence and low self-esteem. I am releasing an opportunity for you to learn, to realize there is an invention right within you, already functioning, a means of contacting through the etheric body by a mechanism and an electronic frequency far above the physical plane, the octaves of the ascended masters. And those teachers are there waiting for thy request for participation. Since there actually is no time or space, realize that you can be at any moment of the hour or day in the presence of your teacher of choice, or all of them. It simply takes the practice of projecting the mind's eye to that physical point, that geographical location in time and space, that is the coordinate, where resides the master. And this is actually not as difficult as it appears. Thy brothers of the cosmos travel in this manner in their perceived reality, and can manifest into matter and reality even to the sense of touch. Let us have an experiment. For do you know that my pink cape is lined in green? I am a scientist of the first order, and you need not relegate me to the exclusive corner of being an artist. For I am a scientist as well as an artist, and I rejoice that both faculties have been given into my hand as tools. Let the chalice that was released many years ago as a thought form now be given here below as a chalice for the mental body. And let the chalice be a discipline force field given to you at my hand, and yet which you yourself must fashion. Now this chalice will not remain with you unless you reinforce it by daily application to the discipline of calling upon the ray resources of your brothers, Serapis Bey, Germain, etc. And as the waters seek their own level, so the flame of perfection seeks its own level. Since the level of mankind's consciousness is at the level of imperfection, all that is perfect, that is lowered into form, must either be reinforced each day by those in embodiment, or, if it is not, it will return to the higher octaves. Well, you might say then that this is decay in reverse. For, of course, perfection does not decay. It simply withdraws, particle by particle. Then the chalice will return to the level of your Christ flame unless, by invocations to that Christ flame, you continually reinforce in the physical octave the atoms and molecules of fiery light that compose the chalice. This experiment would somewhat equate to going the opposite way on an escalator or a moving conveyor belt. If you don't keep moving and keep decreeing, you will lose the ground that you have gained. That is almost how it is prior to your ascension, as though you were on an uphill climb, and as though that belt were continually moving, so that you can never stop. For to stop is to move backwards with the automatic reverse trends of civilization and move down, down, down the mountain of attainment. Unless you are forever transcending yourself, you are not coming into perfection. So I also come to release creativity. But I am limited, not by laws of the cosmos, but by the law of your own being. Your own being has a law of its own, and each individual has made that law of himself according to himself and his own self-discipline. In reality, you are chalices filled with love. You have, however, inverted those chalices and made them the entire complement of the electronic belt, the record, the memory of all past misdoings contained in the subconscious at that level of the astral plane. And let us then consider that all we must do is turn the chalice that is now upside down, right side up. Do you see that you can sow a garden that grows from the energies of the electronic belt? You can sow love continuously. You have a great reservoir of light on high in your casual body. It has been told to you, but I would remind you that every erg of energy that is transmuted in answer to your call is an asset stored in your cosmic bank account. You can then call upon these assets to bring forth fruition of thy goals. Set things right. If you have failed to complete a task or walked away from a situation, a karma, a marriage, a family, a job, a business where you should have fulfilled the transmutation of love, you still have the time in this life to go back and set things unto rightness. It does not mean to compromise, but to return means to take your stand with the sacred fire, to compel the moving into that flame. And let that flame take that energy and place it upon the altar of cosmic honor and resolve the circumstance in love and peace. resolved in an order that all participants can move forward in light and harmony of peace, and not upon the jangled waves of discontent and bitterness. You must carefully weigh in the balance of truth, each decision of your life, and you must come to know that the flame of God justice is the flame of God mastery, no more, no less. And this would become a gift unto you for you, would have conquered in love, and in the art of living love. Since I am the Kohan of the heart place, and as the pink flame of the heart is the frequency of love to the world, and may I come into your heart at least once within your week, let us say on Monday, which is so often called of blueness, Blue Monday, that we might work and begin to reverse this course of cancer which is eating away at thy beloved place. And let us effort at slowing the disease, then stop of the disease, and then let us reverse the disease into easement. You have all the electronic flow necessary to direct the course of your reality. You only now need learn to use it in properness. No matter what you have been, you be better, and life can be better and fuller from this moment on, because you have accepted my love. It is that by the working in unison we can multiply and compound the positive results relative to input. So be it. Dharma, I place my seal upon these writings and now stand aside that the lessons are not of such a length that we lose of our students' interest. And I will have further to share, but I believe we should conclude for this session. I am in great appreciation for thy assistance and for the kind sharing of Commander Hatton. Great blessings are brought forth to you ones from the higher energy flows. This energy comes with abiding love and care. Therefore, please be accepting of the gift and come into peace and comfort with all thy works. Through the path seems tedious and trial-laden, it is moving in perfection. In service, I am of the third ray of the pink vibration. I am Paul. Chapter 20. Recording 1. Serapis Bay, Saturday, April 22nd, 1989, 6:15 a.m., Year 2, Day 249. A seedling is planted and the plant nurtured. Then comes a time of growing into harvest. Now many things must be proper to allow the plant to grow to full flower. Chela. Some plants can grow in snow, some in the heat of a desert, all things in their proper place, or grow through selection. And our energies will mesh when we allow of the coalescence. Love misdefined. I am Serapis Bay of the crystal ray. The fourth, you call it for identification. Actually, the crystal ray is my choice. The refracted color of the fourth ray is not white. There is a difference, Chela. I am simply the headmaster of the fourth ray at this portion of sequence. I long for a better language for thee of the English-speaking sectors, for love has become such a tritely used term. Yet it is the experience of love, agape, not romance of lovers, but abiding, non-defaulting love, which underlies all progress to higher frequency existence. You are having trouble, Dharma, because it troubles you that we preach love. Love and more love, total love, ad nauseum. It is because there is no other word to use, no other way to get where you are going. The term conjures immediately to the mind's eye the drifters in false pious demeanor, drifting about, pronouncing great acceptance of all things, positive or negative. Yea, the non-productive acceptors of any and all kinds of sexual encounters to prove their unbiased love, empty, blinded drifters partaking of any and all mind-altering plants or drugs. Ah, yes. 'Tis sad for thee are ended with no proper term to use for the truth of it. And worse is the acceptance of those teachers. Many of the children who followed or were later followers made gross errors not easily corrected. And many extreme measures were taken in immature minds and actions which were done for convenience and avoidance of responsibility of real love. Ah, such sadness flows in my consciousness as I see the foolish blunders made under the temptation of the brothers of darkness, pretending to be lighted brethren. As always, the worst attack is on the youth, who are still too young to discern from life in full, and thus are acting from impulse and rebellion. So be it, for special blessings are poured forth upon these ones who do not come into the path, that their feelings of guilt be moderated, for they knew not what they were doing. There is no magic age for knowledge. Sometimes it never comes in an entire lifetime of physical experience. And sometimes it comes past midlife. So be it. It comes when it comes. No more, no less. And life of physical experience is just that, experience. You're here to experience. Ye each come for a different reason. How blessed ye are when ye find thy brother, who has come primarily for the same purpose thee choose. And do not waste time in remorse for what thee did not know or do in thy past. The past is gone. And ye cannot change one thing of yesterday. It is as far gone as an existence on another sphere, 1 billion years ago, in thy time sequence. If thee made errors that can be corrected, then do so. But it is gone and naught can be removed or added to yesterday or the last split moment. Ye can dream of tomorrow, but ye actually only have this heartbeat of a moment. For life and death, action and inaction, wholeness or crippleness, light or dark are only one heartbeat in separation. One little electric impulse of energy, surge, is all the separation there is in the universe. Even thy mind is set up so that the interruption of energy flow through particular circuit interchanges can place a human into an entirely different illusion of experience. Thy mental houses of distress are filled with those precious ones. I am not come forth to this group through you, Dharma, for the same thrust as for the beginners of truth seeking. Ye do not need of the same lessons of the novice. Ye ones are about a job, well planned and functioning. So let us consider some of the things ye do not need to do in order to move forward. Are you willing? So ye must face the question, how great is thy love? How badly do thee wish to participate in a transition of a birthing of a planet into a higher dimension, the fulfilling of a cycle? You have to confront to what extent ye are willing to give up the course of self-centered illusion to accomplish insight necessary to participate with thy unseen brotherhood. There is a key in the disciplines to higher consciousness. The key is not to become entangled in the labyrinth of human questioning and the fears and the doubts and the specter of the night that haunt that labyrinth. You do not have to trace the meanderings of the carnal mind and the human consciousness through all of the levels of the subconscious in order to come to the knowledge of truth, in order to come to reality, or to overcome in love. The key is not to be drawn by curiosity or a fascination with horror or a gluttony for the things of the senses, drawing you down into more and more astral experiences and psychic phenomena. The key, instead of taking 1,000 steps through the astral plane, is to take one step into the plane, an encircling beingness of the mighty I Am presence into the plane of the Christ mind, where the oneness and the wholeness of that great pyramid, the triune of totality and power, the oneness and the wholeness is a dissolving action. Get off the downward spiral. Brethren, transcend your cycles. Do not follow those negative spirals round and round and round again, going down, 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 unto the death manifestation in the very crypt of the electronic belt. Spiral instead upward and outward, utilizing the flame of transmutation, consuming on contact the debris ye encounter. The flame is not linear. It need not travel over the lines of human creation. Your soul, enveloped in that flame, also need not remain any longer in the consciousness that the only way out is through the lower frequency labyrinth. I say transcended. This means that in the moment when you would indulge your pettiness, your argumentation, your human nonsense, your dalliance in childishness, in the moment you instantly let go and you let God be the light that swallows you up in the victory of love. The love that is your victory is your own love that is God made manifest within yourself. Our God is the all-consuming fire of love. And that God self resides as close as thy heart cell, within thy breast, within thy mind, and within thy soul. And why do these ones shut him from thee? Ye carry within the unlimited power of the universe, and ye hide away from it. Gain passion in the loving of that wondrous source. Love enough so that you do not have need to satisfy some human desire of density. You are not forced to appease the carnal mind and give in to that which is destructive. They are blessed with a thinking, reasoning, and potentially unlimited mind. Given the freedom of will and choice, use it. You do not have to engage your energies in imperfection. And as much as you think that it is sometimes necessary, I tell you that by always going within the heart, and upon the threefold flame of life within to thy God force of self, you can transcend all former cycles. So be it. And when ye can sustain thy attention upon your I am presence and upon the light, you will receive the energy necessary to deal with all other circumstances. And you will grow beyond having to travel through them in your emotions, in your mental concepts, in your memory, and in physical labor. Think then upon this. Disciplines for higher consciousness demands that you prove how it is that you can be in the world and yet not of the world as a child. Now, how do you accomplish this seemingly impossible feat? The first step is to become as a little child. You must become open as an innocence of the questioning, the accepting, the total openness of a little child coming into truth of experience. You must go beyond and above why thy mind has been filled with of untruth to be replaced with truth. You cannot instantly become a Christed man or woman without having first come into understanding of the law. And the first steps, therefore, are in the accepting of the teaching, that ye might learn that law. Regress in your soul awareness for a moment. Go in thy mind back to the point of embryonic life of your consciousness of innocence, entering into that form of the tiny babe. Total trust and faith and hope and charity are yours. You have not hardened your heart. You have not hardened yourself to become a cynic in the world. Your skin is tender. It is not toughened by the failures of others. And so in the sweet perfume of your love of mother and the mother's love for you, you remember wholeness in God. And this is all of your identity. At that point, you are the babe in Christ. You are calm and serene with the absolute conviction that your life is in God, that God is caring for you. The most essential quality of becoming this tiny babe is to understand the quality of helplessness. You are totally helpless. Then you must allow God to work his work within you. You can truly say, as the child of Christ, I, of mine own self, can do nothing. It is the Father in me which doeth the work. And you have a clear transparency, purity from the immaculate vision of the cosmic virgin. This is the meaning of immaculately conceived. You know no sin. You know no separation from God. You are in the womb of the mother. You are surrounded by the waters of the living word. You are at peace, and life is yours to conquer because you are God in manifestation. Now, you are ready for the disciplines whereby the babe will become the child. Next comes the outer manifestation, from within the womb into the outer womb. Your habitation is a cosmos, a brave new world, a world filled with light, and yet with shadows and darkness, somehow as yet undefined to your precious soul. And you come forth and you travel the cycles of your individual cosmic clock, and you bow before the great initiators of life. The little child of innocence then is forced to learn the ways of this new world, separated from the attachment of the disciplines of the God all, where thy knowledge was in the cycles of the Father. You now experience falls and scrapes, tears, and demands that cannot be fulfilled. Therefore, you learn to fulfill your own demands, the shaping of the feelings and of the mental body, the shaping of the mind, the memory, and the noble form, the form that is to house the spiritual fire of life. Ah, yes, this little child born to be God, but alas, also come the pitfalls. And as the veils of innocence are parted one by one, and you mature in the understanding of the world as well as in the understanding of law, take care. Take care that you do not forget your source, and the fairies and the undines and the gnomes with whom you frolicked as a little one. Take care that you do not forget the faces of angels who have tended your crib, who have watched over thee. And take care that you do not forget that there are masterful beings who took you by the hand and walked you safely through the places of danger. But also, mostly, ye do forget. There are a few who will remind you, and there are a few who will know, for they have all been deprogrammed away from God into the ways of the world. Thus, if you retain your innocence of the little child, you will become the little child who leads all of the aspects of the creation into the knowledge of the Christ. It is the little child within you that will be the leader of this age of coming into knowledge. It is the child who remembers the source, but coming into that oneness of balance, of discrimination, of learning, of mastering the studies necessary to function in the world, and to be of service, and to have the sacred labor ye have accepted. And you must not only become the little child, so to speak, to have disciplines of higher consciousness, but you must also remain the little child. It is better to be heard again and again, and here all of you chelas take careful attention, that to have the cynicism of the existentialists, it is better to have advantage taken of thee than to fall into constant mistrust of your fellow man. And as thee grow, you will become discerning, and will not fall prey to those ones who will pull thee down. And do not set about armoring thyself with false armor, for the armor thee will choose outside of the godness will be of the darkness. If you steel yourself with that false set of armor that is not the tube of light, the innocence of the white light, but that is the mastering of deceit and intrigue, the mastering of a carnal ego, the mastering of all of its defense, its indulgences, and all of its experiences, which the follow ones tell you you must have in order to distinguish light and darkness. Experience is not required to learn. This, dear ones, is the first and fundamental lie that is told to the child to take the child from the path of light. Come and experience this. Come and experience that. Taste and see. Taste and know for yourself whether or not this is for you. Ah, yes, this is experience, so be it. But it is not of necessity. The little child in all innocence does not need to taste of the energy veil, temptations of illusory evil. Need not partake of it or absorb it or become contaminated by it in order to know the truth. And there have been many, many ones, Christed ones, who have entered into the Holy of Holies and who have found the satisfactions of love in God and in his holy angels without the experience of participation in the battle. Those who have accepted that lie and entered into the compromises of all the things that are offered in the marts of the world are burdened today by a cross of their own making, a cross of their own actions, a cross that is the hatred of the Divine Mother in whose womb they live and move and have that being of light. Therefore, the child maturing to become the master in the way, to carry the cross of world lessons, cannot take upon himself that cross of world karma because he's too busy carrying his own cross of selfishness and self-indulgence. Therefore, chelas, there are few who have the time to participate in truth, who will take the effort to bear responsibility, or will only, if I have time, give me a call and I'll try it. When it is convenient, and I have no other thing to do, no appointment with worldly stuff, I'll try. Do thee recognize Chrysalids, John Wyndham, backfire upon thee? In every age, there must be souls who are willing to bear a certain portion of the weight of world karma, for lack of a better word. In these times, it is by and large elemental life who bear the weight. For those among mankind who care at all to carry a little extra baggage are few and far between. Right choices. And those who love are the disciplined ones who can walk through the narrow streets of the cities of the Middle East, for instance, where every form of temptation lurks and every aspect of the sins of human consciousness is displayed in the marketplace. Ah, so, to walk through or to tarry, explore and partake? It is one thing to enjoy a shopping trip. It is another to become addicted to going shopping and to examining the manifestations of human consciousness when you ought to be meditating upon the light that burns within the shops of your very own inner being. Precious ones, discipline means to withdraw energy, and with it your attention, from its encasement in the tomb of matter. It means to stop the flow into the dense and direct it into the higher. The pearl is the symbol of your casual body, and the layer upon layer of the pearl are the spheres of consciousness that you have built layer upon layer around the central core of the I Am, presence of self. Now this iridescent mother of pearl is worth all. Therefore a wise man will go and sell all that he has for the one pearl of cosmic consciousness. Its discipline demands that you let go of all involvements, and realize that from day to day you never know when your soul, bereft of the physical body, will find itself cast on another shore in the mental plane, in the astral plane, God forbid, or in the etheric. If you were the messenger, you would be in the position to observe day by day those who are born and those who are dying, those who came into the physical plane and those who leave. It is a vast parade of souls taking incarnation and moving on. But the disciplines are higher consciousness. If it is to be retained, must be proven in the physical plane. Therefore, it is the admonishment of the hierarchy to make time and space count, for they are the crucible whereby you prove your God mastery and the alchemy thereof. Little progress is made in other planes, for there in matter you made of your experience, learned or did not learn thy lessons, and here in matters where you must bring it all into balance. Let none think that they will live forever and forever in these lower bodies. They're but vehicles of consciousness which are loaned to you, as of all the energy of God is on loan to you, that you might prove the mastery of free will. I come to you then to give you the concept of discipline. I tell you, as I survey the world scene in all of the dreadfulness of that which is taking place, so much is unknown to you that it is pathetic how your leaders have deprived you of knowledge of what is actually happening in secret diplomacy, in international politics, and even in thy own legislature. And as I survey all of this, I see as the one hope that path of initiation that leads through the teachings of what is called the Great White Brotherhood. The lighted brotherhood, not black, brown, or white, but rather lighted versus darkened. There must be ones to walk with mankind until they awaken from their sleep and begin to see, really see. There must be ones who lead in balance and harmony and love. And man must follow because the way is truth, not from fear of power, which will render him useless. Ye once have accepted the mantle, have asked for participation, and have been appointed. Thy way shall be opened unto you, that you can find the path without falling along the wayside. But chelas, ye must hold strong, for the worldly ones will effort ceaselessly to pull thee down. However, know that when the circle is closed, the cycle is finished, and those without will remain without, and those within cannot be separated. So be it, for it shall come to pass as written in the great books of the universe. I take my leave in appreciation for being allowed a hearing, and always know that I stand attentive to thy calls. I am that I am, teacher of the fourth ray, that nothing shall be lacking in thy lessons. I am Serapis Bey in light. And I believe I'm going to stop here because I'm tired. Okay, folks, I hope you have a great understanding of what he's telling us. They're there for you, just like the saints, okay? A lot of people pray to the saints. Well, he's telling you pray to them because they're there to help. When you call upon them, you've got everything at your hands. And you have to be as like a babe. Help me, teach me, show me. And in turn, they will. I called on Hilarion the other day, and I said, Hilarion, I need you to teach me how to heal myself. I don't hear anything, I don't see anything, but my body starts to tell me different. So today I'm not as achy, in pain, joint pain, as I was 3 weeks ago. Today I'm feeling good enough that I can sit in a chair long enough to make videos for you and to continue to do these readings. Whereas before I had to stand up. I couldn't stand it anymore. And it was very hard to sleep. But I persevere. And I always go to God no matter what. And I use the I am that I am. Because I use it in positive ways to myself. But that's just me, okay? That's just me. Okay, folks, be sure and share your smile. And hug those you love because life is short. And do something really kind for your fellow man because they're your brothers and sisters. Love you. See you. Bye.